Paul Barnell is about to get lucky. Dead lucky. Now a perfect plan has got everybody fooled, but for one determined investigator, two die-hard criminals, and a dead man who's alive.
Hi there guys, I hope you're well. Welcome back to my channel called Blast and the Past. And this time around I have a review of the film called The Big White from 2005, starring Robin Williams and Giovanni Ribisi, amongst many other actors.
Robin Williams, Holly Hunter, Giovanni Ribisi, Woody Harrelson.
So without further ado, let's kick it off, shall we?
Play ball!
The film takes place in the middle of Alaska, and it's about a travel agent who is almost close to going bankrupt. As you can imagine, his business is not very flourishing, so it's not very profitable. And then, by accident, he found a dead body in a dumpster. And he decides to file a fraudulent claim with the insurance agency, claiming that this is the body of his long-gone brother Raymond. And everything seems to be fine, apart from the fact that there is a very stubborn, very persistent insurance agent called by Giovanni Ribisi, who is on his back and on his case.
Where's the birthmark? Did it just all of a sudden get better, Mr. Barnell?
Laser surgery. You know, how like you remove a tattoo.
I understand.
Nah.
And he wants to prove that Paul Barnes is just another fraudster who needs to be exposed. At the beginning, So Robin Williams is pretty successful, but then the real problem appears when the late brother Raymond actually pops up on the scene.
Hello, brother. Missed you.
So you just have to watch this film on your own to find out how the story progresses later on. But I can guarantee you that there will be some surprises along the way. You could make a claim that the film was released pretty late in Robin Williams' very rich career, so arguably it was past his prime because it was in 2005. Many people claim that he had his most successful films already behind him at that time, but I wouldn't fully agree because there were many underappreciated gems like 1 Hour Photo, in which he plays a bad character, a villain.
You have to look like you're having fun. Smile.
This one, so it's also similar because Robin Williams is not entirely a good guy. So of course there's this insurance fraud, and you could say that there are many different layers to him. So his character is pretty complicated. So on the one hand he loves his wife, who is suffering from some imaginary Tourette syndrome.
How is she?
Some days are better than others.
I'm not crazy, Paul.
No, sweetie. We're gonna find the best specialist.
On the other hand, so like I said, he's a little bit shady, but his business is on the rocks, so he has no other choice but to do something about it, and he decides to go the dark path, unfortunately. So the film itself, it's Fargoesque, so it's set in the middle of Alaska, and you can see this very freezing climate of it, and it has its own charm. So either you are a fan of it or you hate it, but it's a love-hate relationship. However, there is something peculiar about it. So you may not be a big fan of low temperatures, of very freezing cold weather, but on the other hand it's very climatic and very atmospheric. And there is this special charm, special layer of a mystery, which is typical of the films set in this kind of setting.
This movie takes place in Alaska, which is pretty much just up that hill there. But the moment I cross over that border, I can't say hey.
The film, at the time of its premiere, it definitely flew under the radar, so it wasn't a big budget production, and Robin Williams was not as big of a star as he was in the 1990s, obviously, so probably it wasn't a very big budget flick. However, many people defend it in the comments, and actually the average rating on IMDb, it's not that bad because it's 6.3 out of 10 as of now. So it's pretty solid, pretty decent. And of course this film is not as renowned, as known as Fargo. However, it's one of the followers of this idea. It goes the same way. It has also this mystery. There are some criminals involved and crime activity.
You have something that belongs to us. Ow. Sorry.
So it's similar yet different. Different enough for people to appreciate it and also to enjoy it in its own right. So of course, on the one hand, it's a copycat of Fargo, of the Coen brothers, one of the most famous films of the Coen brothers.
But in a place called Fargo,
Mr. Lundegaard? I'm a police officer from up Brainerd investigating some malfeasance.
anything can happen.
How's Gene?
Who's Gene?
Oh, geez.
Fargo.
On the other hand, it's characteristic enough, it's individual enough for the viewers not to be bored with it. So this is definitely a good thing.
$1 million, Paul!
What $1 million?
You really think you can take me?
By the way, in terms of copycats of Fargo, of the Coen brothers film set in the same climate, the same atmosphere, so just like The Big Quiet from 2005, there was another motion picture of the sort called The Thin Ice from 2011 starring Greg Kinnear, and actually I remember that it was also pretty decent.
What starts out looking like an easy score can turn out to be anything but simple.
I don't remember the film very well, but my general impression is that it was fairly decent as well. So if you are a fan of this setting, of this atmosphere, of this climate, so maybe you should also give it a go. Please remember about The Big White, this one with Robin Williams, with late Robin Williams unfortunately, and also about Thin Ice. So I think it's worth checking out as well.
For Mickey Prohaska,
I'm here to install a security system.
Left some paperwork in there.
an opportunity to turn life around
I see you found your paperwork.
is about to take a turn.
We could say that this film is a sleeper, because very few people know about it, very few people realize that something like this has ever been released. However, it features a star-studded cast. So of course we have Robin Williams, a little bit over the hill in terms of his acting career. We have Holly Hunter, there is also Giovanni Ribisi and Woody Harrelson. So there are many recognizable names.
Robin Williams, Holly Hunter, Giovanni Ribisi, Woody Harrelson, Tim Blake Nelson, and Alison Lohman.
Which is always some form of a bait for the viewer. And you can at least be sure that they will do a decent job, because Robin Williams was this kind of guy, so who would always do his best, no matter how low-key the film he starred in was.
There's got to be people who want to leave in the middle of winter, and with the economy and everything else, he's in bad shape.
Now very briefly about the picture quality. So it's nothing to write home about, it's just a standard DVD release, so I'm not sure whether you can see it or not, whether it's perceivable or not, but the picture quality, the resolution is okay, is acceptable, nothing special. Of course it doesn't compare to any decent Blu-ray release, but all in all I'm pretty satisfied with it, and it is serviceable, it is what it is. You can enjoy the picture, it doesn't bother you, it doesn't disturb you, so it just never drops below this acceptable standard, which is good already in its own right. And like I've said, so now I'm a big fan of DVD releases as well, not only Blu-rays and 4Ks. And with this one, so I think it's worth recommending checking it out, because the film itself may not be very well known, very popular with the fans, with the film buffs. However, it's still worth checking out and giving it a shot, giving it a chance.
But the bottom line is that something's off.
Tell your slut mama I said hi. Sure will, thanks.
So actually, I've seen this film twice, so the last screening was the second time, so it means that there must be something in this film, right? If I decided to come back to it. And the second screening was even better than the first one, because now I appreciate this film even more. So that's why I've decided to share my thoughts on the film with you, because I think it's worth checking out. I wanted to prove it to myself, and also because of my appreciation to Robin Williams as an actor, as a person. So I wanted to check it out again to see what my impression of it would be right now. Maybe it would be better, because at first I wasn't blown away by it. I even remember that I wrote a review on that on one of the film portals, and it wasn't very favorable. So I think that with me the film scored then something around 5 or 6 out of 10. So now I would give it probably even more, maybe a very weak 7 out of 10. So I think it's still worth checking out, and still worth recommending, especially to the fans of Robin Williams and of his later repertoire and his later steps in the career. film may not rank amongst Robin Williams' greatest performances or films per se.
And the Oscar goes to Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting.
However, it's still worth a watch, just to see how the plot thickens, how the plot develops, what happens next when this unfortunate brother appears again in their lives, and how the main protagonist needs to go further and further into his lies, something which started maybe not as a white lie, but it was a fraud after all. But let's say that the character's intentions were maybe not so bad, because he also wanted to help his wife. But then, so what happens next? So there are criminals involved, and really you have to check it out because it's full of surprises. It's like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
There are some interesting pieces of trivia available on IMDb regarding the film, and one of them is a pretty sad one because of the very depressing setting, the atmosphere. So Robin Williams, on the set of this film, he came back to drinking. He came back to alcoholism after many years, maybe even decades. It might have been 20 years of sobriety. However, he decided to come back to drinking.
I was in a little town in Alaska. It wasn't the end of the world, but you can see it from there. And it was like all of a sudden I thought, I could drink. It's also that same thought you have if you look off a large building and go, I can fly.
That's very unfortunate, that's very sad, because we all know that in his lowest point of his life, so Robin Williams was addicted to alcohol and drugs, and also that might have contributed to his later problems, unfortunately. So this is very sad, but we are only human beings. So that's why it's very important to stay away from those substances, from drugs, from alcohol, because it's no fun, really. And we have to appreciate life while we still can live it. So I think that's the greatest message, even from Robin Williams, who is not with us anymore, that we have to appreciate life and do everything in our power, do our best to live it to the full extent, to seize the day, but not only the day.
Oh, sorry about that. Just one moment. Carpe dentum. Seize the teeth.
Well, let me assist you.
Oh, Daddy. Oh, dear. A spoon. Oh, so clever.
Of course, you only live once, but remember about seizing the day in a good manner. So not going to extremes, but trying to make something good out of it. So I think that this is a very important message stemming from Robin Williams, his great career, his life, how he was helpful and how he made all of us laugh, and he will always be there in our hearts forever, on the screen, in the motion pictures. So that's why it's worth rediscovering his careers even later on in his years, arguably past his prime, although I still know or discover some gems from that period. And I think that this is maybe not a gem, but a fairly underappreciated film. So please, if you have a chance, watch The Big White from 2005, starring Robin Williams. We'll remember you forever.
On the red carpet, fellow celebrities paid tribute.
We are mourning the loss of such a great man, and he was also a friend, and I admired him, and he's a legend. It's unbelievable.
So that is my short take on the film The Big White from 2005. I hope that you have enjoyed this short review, guys. And if you have liked it, so please give this video the thumbs up, share your thoughts on the film, on my review in the comment section under the YouTube video clip, and please subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed yet, and I hope to see you guys next time. Cheers, Godspeed, and take care. Bye.